Hello fragrance lover, welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about Tom Ford, so stay with me. So in today's video, I want to talk about the new launches that I've done Tom Ford this year. So I will talk about 3 new launches, as I really do love Tom Ford fragrances usually. Most of them, I love them because they've got like a strong DNA, quality of ingredient, and a longevity that is exceptional. It's, you know, it leaves like a nice sillage behind you, and it's not overpowering. Some are, but generally it just leaves like a sillage, and everyone notified it, and that's why it's so complimented fragrances. So that's why I'm really happy to do this video. So before I'm starting, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of myself and my reviews. So the first launch I wanted to talk about is one of the private blend. So they do have 2 different categories of fragrance. The private blend are available in boutique, and you do have the heritage collection. I think they call it like that, I'm not too sure, but this is more the classic that you can have a bit everywhere. And I want to talk about the new Soleil Neige. First of all, the name is just so cute. Neige in French means the snow. I just find it very cute, and it's perfectly launched as we arrive into winter and we want to get a bit more cozy. So there's like a Soleil collection we used to have before, Soleil Blanc, that was launched in 2016. This is a scent that I particularly love and one of my favorite from Tom Ford, because it's those kind of solar, very sunny fragrance that brings that very exotic kind of vibe, like that good mood, that you want to enjoy the day you've been in. And it's also very sensual, addictive at the same time. And just to let you know, they're totally unisex as well, so it's really like unisex fragrance, this collection. And it's slightly flowery with ylang ylang, so it brings you that really radiant type of vibe, and this is something that I really do like in Soleil Blanc. So I was really excited to see Soleil Neige, how different it's going to be. So I was expecting something, I don't know, like slightly frosted with still that sunny vibe, and I was not disappointed at all. Soleil Neige is categorized as an oriental fragrance, which is my favorite category, so it's really like targeted for me. But yeah, it's really unisex as well. I can't really put it into a gender. Some people said that it looks more feminine. I do really say that I don't find any gender, as it smells a bit musky. So musk is just cotton feeling, fresh, round, velvety. So I can't really smell any category of it. So you've got on the top nose bergamot, carrot seeds. Can't smell the carrot seeds. I actually never smelled carrot seeds, so I can't tell you what it smells like. So maybe I'm just can't smell it. And then you've got rose, jasmine, orange blossom. The orange blossom gives to the fragrance a little bit like a baby powder feeling. You know, that's slightly orangey, never really like, but very like soft. That's what I used to smell in baby powder when I was a child, so really makes me think of that. And also you've got some Turkish rose. At the base you've got benzoin and vanilla, so that's where the oriental comes from. And I've seen some reviews where people were saying, where is the bergamot? I can't smell the bergamot. Well, when I smell it, so I still have it on the card, I have it on my skin as well, because I just came back from Tom Ford. And you need to let it grow. So at first sight I don't get the bergamot, which is really weird because it's supposed to be the top note, but I think you need to have a trained nose to really find the bergamot. It actually uplifts the fragrance, but in a very like discreet kind of way. So I can smell a little bit sharper at the beginning, and that's the bergamot. The most I can smell is vanilla benzoin accord, so that ambery kind of thing. And the result of all of these ingredients make it that is very round, very powdery. And it's funny because at first sight, when you smell it, you can't say any ingredient. Usually I'm like, oh, there's this inside, then this inside. This, I was just like, I don't know what I'm smelling, which is really good actually. It's surprising, and it doesn't smell like anything that Tom Ford did before. Which is something that I remark as well, is that the fragrance is linear. So linear fragrances means it doesn't change with the time really. That's what I thought. Like I tried it a few times on my skin. I tried it on the paper as well. On the paper it doesn't change at all. On my skin it doesn't change at all. Even with the time it doesn't change. I can't really smell anymore the bergamot, but I really smell like the powders, the vanilla accord. But it doesn't change that much, and I'm quite happy with that, because when I first smelled it, I really liked directly what I smelled, and that's what I think, because the fragrance is so addictive, very round. So I think my first impression was really good, and I didn't want the fragrance to change, so I'm quite happy with this. After it depends on the people, like if you don't really like what you smell at first sight, you're probably not gonna like it after a few hours, but I really did. And it's slightly like vibrant, which is really nice. And the picture what I'm smelling now is the mountain and something very sunny but frosted. And to tell you how they've done good with the image and the metaphor behind the fragrance, is that image for me is perfectly respected. I don't know if you would get the same idea as me, but I'm seeing myself skiing, like cozy. It's cold outside, but I'm warm. It's really like, for me, like a very poetic and sensual fragrance that can be worn by anyone really. And I love it. I really love it, and this is definitely on my list. I hope someone can gift it to me Christmas time, otherwise I will have to spend the money. I will have to buy it, because it's really unusual and it's not an Oriental that is very common. So I would definitely tell you to just go for it. Like if you want to smell like velvet, like you're touching velvety powder, you'll be so happy, because I think it's delightful. I think it's beautiful. Also for Soleil Neige, they did launch something quite cool to go with it. So you know, for Soleil Blanc you had a shimmering oil with it, well, not with it, but you can buy as well. And I do have the Soleil Blanc version, which is like this, which is absolutely beautiful. So there's all the sparkle in there, and this one is really great for fragrance layering. It smells like Soleil Blanc, and when you apply it, and you can layer it with anything, and I think it's just beautiful. And I've done it for Soleil Neige. So this is the golden one, and for Soleil Neige it's all silvery and glittering in silver. Beautiful. The second launch I wanted to talk about is Métallique. This one is not from the private blend collection, so this one is more the heritage one, so it means it will be available everywhere, as I think. And so from the classic range, it's categorized as feminine fragrance, but I would say, you know, flower are not reserved to ladies. I think a man can definitely wear that, and I'm gonna explain to you why. So it says it's floral aldehydic. I can't really smell the aldehyde. Maybe after a few hours it gives that soapy kind of effect, like very clean effect to the fragrance, but only after a few hours. At the beginning I don't really smell it. You've got bergamot, pink pepper, lily of the valley, heliotrope. Somebody said to me there was rose, but I've checked on Fragrantica, there's no rose, so I'm like, ambrette, vanilla, and sandalwood at the trail. So the overall thinking of it is, it's again like a very addictive fragrance, meaning very sensual, charismatic. It's got something that you want to smell again. It's very like fearless as well. It's not the typical fragrance that you want to wear to be discreet. Like absolutely no, this one is like full on character, full on. It's got a little bit of feminine side as well, because there's a lot of white flowers, and really the idea that Tom Ford had, I think, for that was that it's white flowers surrounded and covered by that metal type of vibe. And again, the image is perfectly done, like you smell it. I've got it here. I smell it. I smell flowers and iron, metallic scent, like really iron, like a metal you put on the flower. The image is perfect. I can smell a lot of vanilla as well, but when you're not thinking of any ingredient and you just close your eyes and smell that, this is really the image I get. And this is why I love Tom Ford fragrances. They give you the idea behind it and you can smell it on the paper. This wouldn't be my type of fragrance, I think, because I don't know, I kind of feel too much the flowers, and it's a bit, no, I wouldn't say sweet, but there's too much flowers for me, and I don't think it would suit probably my skin. And I've tried it on my skin a few times on the paper, and it's, I think, too aggressive for me compared to what I like. Like, I don't mind very aggressive fragrance on woods, for example, but when it comes to flowers, when it's like this, I'm not too sure. But if I'm thinking objectively, this is really well thinking, composition, heritage behind the idea overall, the metaphor. I think I don't have anything to say. Even if I wouldn't probably like wear it myself, I would probably wear it sometimes, I don't know, but it's not something I would buy. But I can recognize the couture behind, like the savoir-faire. And I would say, like, if you love those like flowery scent, but you want something a bit different, very daring, very sensual, like you've got a very like energetic personality, flirty a little bit, it smells flirty, you would absolutely love that. I think it's really interesting. And also, like, metallic fragrance are not something like very usual, because they're difficult to make, because if you're doing like just a metallic fragrance, this wouldn't be wearable, but like mixing and balancing the iron metallic effect with some flower, I think it's just really good savoir-faire. That's the only thing I have to say. Tell me what you think about metallic, especially because I'm not too sure, and I want to see if you tried it on your skin, and let's have maybe like a conversation about it in the comments, because I'm really curious of what you're gonna say. But I think we can all agree on the fact that the image and the inspiration is totally respected. Then the first fragrance I wanted to talk about is a bit like late, but I really wanted to wait to do that video to talk to you about those new launches together. This is Tuscan Leather Intense. So the Tuscan Leather Classic from the Private Blend was launched in 2007, and this one was launched this year. So I had a few months to actually like try it and things like that. I'm a massive fan of Tuscan leather. If you've not seen my latest video on what fragrance I like the most on men, I invite you to have a look. And this is part of the fragrance I love the most on men, just because it's got a strong personality, but it's nicely balanced with raspberry, for example, which I think it's a perfect way to balance a leather, to put some fruits, like it cool me down and give a bit of sensuality to it, which I think is beautiful. And it's also a bit aromatic, it's got thyme in it, so I think it gives like something unexpected in the fragrance that make it so addictive. So Tuscan Leather Intense is slightly the same composition, except I think they removed the raspberry, and it's even more intoxicating. You've got more and more leather, so makes sense with the name, and again much more animalic, which was something that we didn't have in Tuscan Leather Classic. It's really have that notes of animals like that you can smell behind, so it gives nearly like not sensual anymore, but a bit exaggerating sensual, like nearly, like I wouldn't say sexual, but there's something like this really, like it's really animalic. And there's some woody notes as well, so very, very deep in the roots. So I would say this is for someone that wants exaggerating personality of leather, that love a leather note and wants the really beast mode, which is fair enough. I did like it, but I don't like it as much as Tuscan leather. I really like to have a balance. I don't want to have anything really exaggerating on each ingredient. I do really think this is something for a different type of personality, which is fine. I like the fragrance, but I think this, if my opinion is, I do prefer the composition of Tuscan leather classic. But I would say have a smell, because it's really for different type of personalities, which I do get it, and I do understand why they've done it. And you know, again, animalic fragrance or something that is quite different, so you can't, it's not seen everywhere, and this is really daring, and I think why not. And the private blend collection from Tom Ford is really for experimenting about ingredients. That's, he said himself that it was his little lab, so this is what it's meant for. So again, that thing is pretty clever. Overall, about all these reviews, my favorite is Soleil Neige, 100%. I'm definitely gonna buy this one. I mean, it's just, oh god, like I'm perfect. I'm in love. Overall, those 3 launches for me are really nicely done, and I don't think they're a miss. I think it's a good thing. There's different kind of scent for different personalities. The 2 last one are not really what I'm gonna get, but objectively the inspiration is great, the composition is great, different personality. I would say have a try yourself, tell me what you think, but for me, I mean, Tom Ford like did it again, and it's really well done, really, really well done. And yeah, so that's it for me. I can't wait to see your comments, and I will see you soon for another review. I hope you did like this one, and if you did, please like the red button. Don't forget to subscribe as well, and I will see you soon. Bye bye now.